This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, ho there. It's Jeff Carter, and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, September the 20th, 1973, a major event happened. It would be a match unlike any other. It was the battle of the sexes for tennis, Riggs versus King. But how did we get to this part? Well, let me tell you. In 1973, Bobby Riggs was trying to challenge a female tennis player, basically noting that, he wanted a new challenge. He was one of the best players in the 1940s. In fact, Bobby Riggs actually went to a parlor in 1939 when you were allowed to gamble on yourself for tennis and said he would win the singles, mixed doubles, and the men's doubles, which is hard to do, winning 3 of them, much less 1. But he did it. He won everything. He was actually number 1 ranked 3 times and had 6 major titles. He decided he retired in 1951 and then he would promote himself. He said that the female game was inferior to the men's and wanted to beat any of the top female players, age 55. So he looked like he could. Riggs decided to challenge Billie Jean King, but she declined. So Margaret Smith Court, one of the best female tennis players around, stepped in. She was 30 years old and was aiming to become number 1 in the world for the 7th time. The match was played on Mother's Day in Ramona, California. There were a lot of people who were pulling for Margaret Smith. Even Bill Cosby was there. Now, of course, this was before Bill Cosby became famous for his sitcom work and infamous for other things. CBS would televise it. Riggs actually did descend the stadium steps and presented Margaret Court with flowers. Unfortunately for Smith Court, Riggs would use his drop shots and lobs to keep Court off balance. He won 6-2, 6-1, landing him on the cover of Sports Illustrated in time. And of course, this would be terrible for women's rights because, women are basically inferior to men. This is the feelings of the 1970s, mind you. Riggs would actually taunt the other female tennis players after getting rid of Court, even though that basically he made his point. Billie Jean King said, "To hell with it," and accepted a lucrative offer to play Riggs in a nationally televised match in primetime on ABC. The producers battled the battle of the sexes. The winner would get $100,000, or almost $600,000 in today's dollars. It would be held on September 20th, 1973, at the Houston Astrodome. A lot of people were like, how can you have a tennis match at the Astrodome? There were a lot of problems with the fact that they were playing NCAA basketball with UCLA Houston, the game of the century, as they called it, in 1968 at the Astrodome. But can you really play tennis with that? Billie Jean King was the 1972 world number 1 player and would finish second to Margaret Court in 73. So there was a lot of back and forth talking and all that. Billie Jean King entered the court in the style of Cleopatra, carried by 4 bare-chested muscle men from the University of Houston, dressed in the style of ancient slaves. Riggs was in a rickshaw drawn by a bevy of models. Riggs gave King a sugar daddy lollipop, and she gave him a squealing piglet, symbolic of male chauvinism. Riggs was actually given $50,000 at that time, or $291,000 today, to wear a sugar daddy jacket during the match. But he took it off after 3 games because he wasn't feeling that great. Riggs also placed many bets on this match. Kind of stupid, don't you think? Of course, the match would start out terribly and all that. Jack Kramer, who was a tennis analyst for ABC, said that, Billie Jean King didn't do a lot of things. Yeah, his sexism forced ABC to drop Kramer as a commentator. Billie Jean said that he doesn't believe in women's tennis. Why should he be part of this match? He doesn't believe in half of the match. I'm not playing. Either he goes or I go. So ABC decided to drop him, bowing under pressure. Yeah. But the match was seen by 90 million people worldwide, 50 million in the US. The attendance was over 30,000 to see a tennis thing. People said that it was a flop, but 30,000 to the Astrodome. I mean, the Astrodome is big in stature. Like, you have to put a tennis court in the middle of it. Well, Billie Jean King was in Houston as is, who competing in the Virginia Slims tournament the same week. Actually beat Riggs in straight set 6-4, 6-3, 6-3. She was actually down 3-2 in the first set, but she needed to win, and she closed out the set and won. She knew from Court's loss what she had to do for Riggs' game. Rather than playing her aggressive game, King stayed at the baseline, handling Riggs' lofts and soft shots, making him cover the entire court as she ran from side to side. So basically, Riggs dropped his comedic effect and would basically do much better. So there was match throwing allegations. It was speculation that he deliberately lost the match because of his bad play and unforced errors to win large monies of sum he bet against himself. Somebody actually said that members of the mafia talked about Riggs throwing the match in exchange for canceling his gambling debt to the mob. However, there was an article that said that Riggs' close friend and estate executor Lauren Kuehl said that didn't happen. And Riggs' son was quoted saying that his father felt he made a terrible mistake and was depressed for 6 months following the match. Riggs wanted a rematch, but King did not. The effects on women's tennis was huge. King viewed the match as more than a publicity stunt. She needed to beat Riggs to set women's tennis and the liberation movement forward. And she did. It all worked out. In popular culture, there were a few documentaries and all that. But there was a movie called Battle of the Sexes 2017 that starred Emma Stone and Steve Carell, respectively. I was wondering how Emma Stone could be she did pretty well being Billie Jean King because Emma Stone she's American. I thought she was British, Emma Stone. Guess not. But yeah, the Battle of the Sexes was huge for liberation rights and all that. And I think everyone figured that Bobby Riggs needed to be taught a lesson. Even certain men thought that Riggs should lose and all that. That's saying something. But yeah, that was a great match, and it brought women's tennis to the forefront. And made people stand up and notice that women can do it as much as men. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adu.